Hello, and welcome to another edition of Selling Travels podcast, where we find out some exciting and interesting things about a destination that you love. Today, we're joined by Emma Terry, who is, of course, the CEO for the South Australian Tourism Commission. Hello, Emma, how are you?
Hello, Charlotte. Very well, thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're very excited to hear more. First up, I hate to mention the horrible C word, but after COVID, can you tell us a little bit more how your destination is recovering its tourism numbers since the pandemic?
Yeah, look, we've actually had a really strong recovery after COVID. Certainly fueled by South Australians getting out and about, Australians coming to South Australia, and of course now the international market and particularly the UK. We're seeing really strong numbers. UK has always been a very important market to South Australia. We have great cultural connections with the UK as well, and certainly seeing that the Brits particularly are very keen to I guess have that opportunity to enjoy an Australian holiday and come to South Australia as part of that. So recovery is going very well.
Brilliant. I have to say the Brits do absolutely love Australia. We seem to have a special affinity with you guys. So can you tell me what's new and exciting in your state that Brits might enjoy?
Yeah, look, over COVID, we've had a number of hotel developments that have been happening, a number of new experiences as well. So in terms of some of the, I guess, hotels that offer particularly in the Adelaide city, that offer a gateway out to our regions. With the opening of a five-star EOS hotel at Sky City, which has been really very well received. Got a gorgeous new Sofitel, which is attracting both business and leisure customers, and a fabulous new Indigo Central Market Hotel, which is a real festival vibe and is right by the famous Adelaide Central Markets, which is one of the best foodie markets in all of the world. We also saw the opening of the Oval Hotel, which is built into the side of the iconic Adelaide Oval sports ground, which is selling very well. But it's not all contained to Adelaide, of course, as well. Across the entire state of South Australia, we've been seeing new accommodation open up, which really speaks to the DNA of the state. So boutique, beautifully designed, sustainable and innovative accommodations. So one of the bigger successes has been Cabin, which are a small off-grid luxe cabins in stunning rural locations. And they're trade friendly and offering commission to agents. So urge your agents audience to check those out. But beyond accommodation, we're seeing new touring products which really immerse our visitors in South Australia's key experiences, which really centre around wildlife in the wild, food and wine, which we're very well known for, and of course our accessible outback. Some of these are it really linked in and starting to tell the story of our First Nations people with Indigenous guides, taking guests on really special explorations of their culture. These can be enjoyed in Adelaide itself. We've got operators such as Southern Cultural Immersion showing the city through Aboriginal eyes. We've also recently had, which is very exciting, a new product opening in the Outback, which is called Nilpena, which is a new national park where there are fossils that are hundreds of millions of years old. And it shows how, from a evolution perspective, how we went from sort of single cell to multi-cell. So they're very important in terms of that whole history of life on Earth as well. So that's very exciting.
Wow, that is fascinating and so much there. I'm kind of amazed you managed to cram that all in. So we've spoken about what's new, Emma. Can you tell me a bit more about some of the established favorite activities, experiences, and highlights of your region? Ones that have enduring popularity.
Absolutely. Look, I think South Australia is really well known. We're an interesting state. We're very connected to most other states. We're kind of that gateway into Australia. So we've got magnificent coastlines, which of course Australia more broadly is known for. But in fact, South Australia itself was awarded the 2023 Best Beach. Which is on Stokes Bay, which is on Kangaroo Island. So that's coastal experiences, coastal wildlife experiences are absolutely a highlight and part of that South Australian quintessential experience. Our outback as well, where it's only a 4-hour drive from the main city, so from Adelaide to actually reach the outback. Our outback is a pretty special place. You'll actually see quite a lot of wildlife as well, kangaroos, emus as well. So wildlife experiences both in the water from a coastal perspective, but certainly on land as well. We've got some of the best koala populations and kangaroo populations in all of Australia, which is excellent. And then, of course, South Australians are obsessed with food and great drink. So wine, spirits, and some beautiful, winery cellar door experiences along the way. In fact, on your way to the outback, you can just, it's a 4-hour drive. You can stop in at a beautiful wine region called Clare. Clare, have a lovely lunch on your way as well. So we've got many wine regions. 80% of Australia's premium wine is grown in South Australia. So they are literally all across South Australia, those regions.
Well, I'm a massive wine lover, so that sounds absolutely ideal for me. So thanks for the tips, Emma. And we going back to agents, which you mentioned in a previous answer. Obviously, agents are very important. They're our audience. So we want to know, how are you going to be engaging with the UK trade in 2023, even beyond that? Are you planning any roadshows, exhibitions, fam trips, or anything similar?
Yeah, look, as we're saying, UK market has been really important for South Australia, and the trade play a really important role. It's one of those destinations that does need a little bit of unpacking. So engaging with trade is really, really important. I'm actually doing this interview with you from the UK today, from London. We've actually been here this week for a road show with, we've brought 29 South Australian operators over for a number of events. So we had a brilliant event in Manchester for agents earlier in the week. We've got another event here in London this afternoon. And of course, we've been engaging some product managers as well and having some really immersive sessions. So that's part of, re-engaging after COVID with the trade. But that's not all. We'll continue to obviously engage through sharing updates. We've got a fantastic team here as well in the UK with Janice and Emma. So you can also reach out at any time for them as well. And we'll have certainly more training events and agent opportunities to keep the conversation going about South Australia, how best to sell it amongst our frontline staff as well.
Brilliant. And so in terms of how to best to sell it, what selling tips would you give to agents to help them sell South Australia to their clients?
Yes. So we know that when the Brits come and visit South Australia, they see at least 2 states or territories in their Australian holiday. We really want to make it easy and accessible for agents to include South Australia as one of those states. So we urge them to complete the South Australian module on Tourism Australia's Aussie Specialist program, and to work with our UK team just to understand how simple it is to connect Adelaide to our regions and other parts of Australia. It's also quite it's quite a compact state, South Australia, in the fact that it's quite easy to get from having a river experience, a coastal experience, through to an outback experience as well. And Adelaide is a really great gateway to be able to do that. So that's really important. We have so much of Australia within South Australia in terms of what's on offer, and we have really friendly operators. So most of the operators that we have here in a roadshow at the moment, they're all owner operators. So they're, South Australia is their backyard. They're very passionate, and so they're able to really connect in with those very unique experiences. Often the most memorable, aren't they, to really get to know people. And South Australians are certainly very hospitable and very friendly. But if I gave you 3 headline tips for agents, I would say to book your clients on an Indigenous experience in Adelaide on arrival, to immerse them in our First Nations culture and provide a really special introduction to the city. Don't book a Kangaroo Island or Outback experience for a day trip. You really need a couple of days, at least two to 3 days, to really emerge in these destinations, and go for a guided tour, so you really get to understand the local story and the history of the place as well. And as we talked about, we've got some of the best wineries in the world. So if any of your clients are looking to enjoy a winery experience as part of all of that, these are all very in close proximity, book them some time in either the Adelaide Hills, Clare Valley, Barossa, McLaren Vale, or on the Limestone Coast.
Fabulous. And just lastly, Emma, if you had to describe South Australia in 3 words, what would you say?
I would say welcoming, it's not 3 word, quintessentially Australian, and grounded, probably grounded, friendly, grounded, and that kind of, it's not 3 words, but the quintessentially Australian experience is kind of the essence of that sits at the core of
Very
that.
laid back, authentic, just very,
Yes.
yeah, very real, very genuine. No, that's great. We'll allow that. Quintessential Australia will allow that.
Extra word in there.
Thank you so much, Emma. It's been a pleasure to hear from you. And I'm sure our agents will love listening, hearing more, and booking lots of people to your beautiful destination.
Thanks so much, Charlotte. It's been
Thank
a
you so
pleasure
much.
to share a little bit more about South Australia with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Bye bye.